Hey, hello everyone and welcome in a new video. In this video and in the next videos we will discover what is RabbitMQ. This is a new playlist on the channel. Of course, I continue other playlist, but this is really important to know what is this kind of tool, what kind of tool. This is a message queue tool, so this is really useful and used in many companies, so this is really important to know what it is. Let's go. So this is the first video for the introduction on what is RabbitMQ. So what is it? It is a message broker. This is a really well-known terms to define how to store a message and deliver it to some applications, for example. This is like Kafka, but with many differences. So we will see that in next video. And the purpose, of course, is to ensure communication between services or microservices. Of course, this kind of tool is due to the rise of microservices. So this is really interesting to know that. If you don't know what is a message broker, you can imagine that it is a database, a table into a database, and we store messages into it. And in this case, with the RabbitMQ, this is like a producer, an application, produce a message and put it into the table. So this is a new line into this table, and a consumer go into this table and take this line and remove it to consume it. So this is just in your mind. Of course, in detail it's more complex like that. So it's a message queue. This is really different because Kafka is not a message queue, is a commit log. This is really important because if we take the same example with the table into the database, we have this table, many lines, of course, into it. And in the case of RabbitMQ, consumer take message and no other consumer can takes again this message. And in the Kafka with the commit log concept, this is a little bit different because message can be kept into the table, and this is just an offset, and you change this offset for consumer or consumer group. This is another concept into the Kafka world. And of course, that the purpose of RabbitMQ is to connect message producers to message consumer. Just a little bit part of the history about RabbitMQ. RabbitMQ was created in 2007, and this is by RabbitMQ Technologies company. This company was acquired by SpringSource in 2010, and after that VMware just acquired the SpringSource company, and now maybe you know that VMware is acquired by Broadcom. After that, of course, RabbitMQ is an open source project, so you can find a repository on GitHub. You can check this repository, for example, RabbitMQ-server, and you have the documentation online, of course, on rabbitmq.com, and the main and the core component about RabbitMQ was developed in Erlang language, not really usual for this kind of tool, but this is really efficient language. One core concept about RabbitMQ or infrastructure which use RabbitMQ. This is the asynchronous infrastructure. So we can imagine that on the left you have a producer, and on the right you have the consumer. Between the producer and the consumer, you have a RabbitMQ cluster, and the producer push messages into the RabbitMQ cluster, and the consumer pull messages from the RabbitMQ cluster to it and handle each message. And like I said, in RabbitMQ, this is like in a table into a database, and this is based on the FIFO. So this is the first in, first out message consuming. So what does it mean? It means that the first message push will be consumed first, and the second, etc. So the producer push message without any order, but the order this is the default order. And after that, the consumer connect to a queue into RabbitMQ cluster, and in this queue you have some message like here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. And the consumer take message in the same order and consume the first, the second, the third, etc. And of course that allows you to make scaling. And just a word before, this is really important to have an asynchronous infrastructure, because, for example, imagine that you want to upgrade your consumer, and you don't want to stop your producer because the producer is a server, and maybe you have some client or directly customer connected to your producer, and you don't want to stop producer. So in this case, you can stop your consumer, upgrade it, and of course all messages are stored into your RabbitMQ cluster, and when your upgrade are done, you can run again your consumer and consume message in the same order like the producer produce it. This is really important to have it in your mind, and you can do the same thing, stop the producer and keep consumer up, and consumer can consume what you are stored into your RabbitMQ cluster. So you can imagine now that you can use it for your scaling into your infrastructure, because you have your RabbitMQ cluster, and you can imagine that you want to produce more messages, and you can have many producers. And of course, you can do the same thing with consumers. You can have one or many consumers, and as we said, the consumer can consume message in the order, because here you can imagine that we have our table, so the real name is a queue in RabbitMQ, and we have our message 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And the first consumer can take the first message and handle it, and in the same time the consumer, the second consumer, take the second message, and etc. The third for consumer 1 when it handles to use the first message, and the fourth, etc. Consumer. So this is really interesting to have it for to maintain the infrastructure and to be fault tolerant, because RabbitMQ is not just one server. Of course, we want to install, we'll see how to install a RabbitMQ cluster, and you can maintain each node into the cluster. Also, in the same time, we want to keep the high availability, of course, of our RabbitMQ cluster and performance. Some key features about RabbitMQ. Like we just said, this is RabbitMQ provides a cluster mode for fault tolerance. For example, if you lost one server, you can keep your cluster, and the same thing for the performance. RabbitMQ can provide many libraries in many languages, for example in Python, in Go, or Java, and you can use some plugins. You have the plugin activation to activate some plugins, like for example Shovels, Federation, Priority, Email, etc. Shovels, for example, is if you want to connect many cluster or some queues in a different RabbitMQ cluster, you can do it with Shovels. So we will see it in next video. What is a message? This is really important to know what is a message. In RabbitMQ, the format of the message is not formal. Usually, maybe we use JSON, but sometimes we can use, for example, binary format. And what we want to store into it, you can store many things into it. For example, business data, instructions. For example, a cloud provider. If you are a cloud provider and some clients want to create many instances, etc., maybe your consumer and the provisioner of your instance are not really quick, and you want to store message, and this is the order for your provisioner, and you can store it into the RabbitMQ cluster. You can store, for example, simple command line as a message, or jobs or tasks. For example, in Python, a really well-known library is Celery. This is a job scheduler, and this job scheduler can use RabbitMQ. Not only RabbitMQ, but can use RabbitMQ. RabbitMQ allows you to handle multiple protocols and provide multiple protocols. For example, really well known is AMQP for Advanced Message Queuing Protocol, and the STAMP protocol for Streaming Text-Oriented Message Protocol with TCP, and the MQTT. MQTT, this is a really current usage in IoT. For example, when you are in the industry, you can use MQTT for message queuing, telemetry, transport. This is really a short message. And after that, you have the HTTP for hypertext transfer protocol, but you already know that, I think. RabbitMQ provides us many concepts, so we will see that in the next video. We have the broker. Broker is just a node into the RabbitMQ cluster. We have the exchange. Exchange is really important on how to split or to route your message to a queue when you are a producer. So this is in the producer side. You have the queue, of course. This is really important to know what is a quorum queue, what is a classic queue, etc. After that, you have the binding. Binding, this is how you route a message from an exchange to a queue. The routing key is important. Inside your message, you can take a field, for example, and on the content about this field, you can route your message to Q1 and for another key to Q2 directly with the RabbitMQ cluster, without any code that you need to develop. And what is a consumer, what is a producer? This is really important to know that, of course. That's it for today. I hope you like this video. Thank you for following this one. Like and comment also. And don't hesitate to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video. Bye bye.